Morning, my name's Darren Coleman. I'm the founder and managing consultant of Wavelength Marketing, branding agency based here in the UK. I'm also the honorary counsel for Lithuania here in Birmingham. I'm delighted to have Indrė, who's the Sustainability Manager from Trafi, on this edition of Lithuanian Brands Best Practice webinar series. Labas rytas, Indrė.
Labas rytas, Darren.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Brilliant. So I'm delighted that you're here to talk to us about Trafi and all the wonderful things you do. Could you start by telling us a bit about your target customer, the markets you operate in, and the products that sit underneath the Trafi brand?
Sure. Well, maybe I would start actually with why is it that and why do we do what we do today? So we envision cities with no private car. We aim to make a shared mobility, be it a kick scooter, a bicycle, a taxi, or a metro in your city, a sustainable habit. And to make that a reality, we need to look at urban mobility holistically. So instead of thinking of different pieces that you would use as a citizen into an entire network and how to make that accessible to you. So this is really what we do, and we think that the best way to make this a reality is enabling cities to orchestrate an urban mobility network. I know that sounds pretty clumsy, but that's very easy and digestible reality in some of the cities who we partner with. To name a few, it's the city of Berlin, it's Munich, it's several cities in Switzerland, and different cities around the globe. And maybe to give you a better example of how it works, let's take Berlin. So city of Berlin was the first city who decided to take the urban mobility, to transform the entire urban mobility network. And last year they launched the biggest mobility as a network deployment in the world, and it's entirely running on our technology. And what it means to a citizen is that today they can find, access, book, and consume over 30,000 vehicles in the city with one application, one account, and just a few clicks.
So when you say urban mobility, can you talk me through that in practical terms? If I'm going to Berlin, how would Trafi's urban mobility solution help me have a better time in Berlin?
Well, basically, it would solve your mobility issues, and the fact that you would not need to think about them yourself. That's a very good example. If you're in a new city where you're not familiar with the urban mobility network, you would most likely need to find the map which would guide you through different routes. You would need to explore several mobility providers. You would need to maybe validate your account somewhere or register your driving license, and you would go through a lot of steps, and still you would be most likely far away from the most optimal way of traveling in the city. And now this one application does the whole network, the whole job for you. So basically in just a few clicks, you can find not only the most efficient, but also the most sustainable way of traveling.
Got it. So in summary then, the mobility service will aggregate a variety of services into one place and take the hassle out of me getting around the city like Berlin.
Precisely.
Sounds great. So can you tell me a bit about the product? Is it one product that you've got sitting underneath the Trafi brand, or do you have a number of products sitting underneath the brand?
Yeah, well, this part is pretty complex. So it's, first of all, it's one brand, it's one Trafi's mobility as a service suite, which a lot of cities are using as a white label technology. So they would use the entire kind of mobility platform. Obviously, under that one brand, there are a lot of different products and pretty complex family of products that some of our partners use individually, and they integrate the different models of that within their technology.
Got it. So there's some sort of underlying base or platform, and then people can pick and mix modules as a part of your overall package or suite of products that you sell.
Exactly, and some cities and especially other technology companies tend to do that. So for example, Google, which is one of our clients, they're integrating part of urban transport data technology into their piece. Or different mobility providers, so be it a tier, a kick scooter company, or different mobility providers, they already have their mobility technology, and they use different models up from Trafi to improve and to improve that basically. And for cities who need to rethink their urban mobility system as a whole, they would need most likely the whole package and the entire umbrella concept.
Got it. So you give your clients flexibility and choice. I'd like to move on and talk about your brand. Can you tell me a bit about the brand, the Trafi brand, and a bit more detail on that?
Sure. So, well, I think we're all familiar with the sustainability issues that cities are going through today. It's been a lot of talking about it everywhere, and more people try to capture that as a real problem. And the reality is that urban mobility, urban transport, or precisely an individual car is a very central piece of that problem. Be it congestion, emissions, noise pollution, safety on the road. A lot of issues are linked with that key element of car centricity. And our goal is to improve that and to reduce that problem and to help cities to orchestrate it as a whole. We had that vision over 10 years ago once Trafi has been established. And we explored several ways, several angles of making that a reality until we started working with the cities directly. So it makes us also work on our legacy and know-how that brought us where we are today. We are not the newest in the industry as a lot of mobility innovations are today. So that gave us time to excel our technology as well as understand cities and urban mobility needs inside out.
Got you. So if we talk about your brand positioning, for example, when people think of Trafi, your customers, how do you want them to think of you? What's the positioning? What's the association in their minds?
Well, so it's really one technology and the best-in-class technology to help them build a sustainable urban mobility network. This is what cities are thinking about us. Yeah.
Okay, so there's the convenience that you offer one-stop shop for everything.
Exactly, and there are quite a few things underneath that, quite a few values that cities benefit from working with us. So first of all, it saves them time. It saves them, the skills and capacity within their teams that they often don't have. So they kind of get to partner with the technology company who's done that already. So we know the process. We have people to make that a reality, and we can move much quicker than cities would do themselves.
Got you. So your track record inspires confidence and trust in your clients, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah, sounds good. So if we look towards the future then, over the coming months and years, what do they hold for Trafi?
Well, I think it's very interesting times for everyone in mobility. Well, first of all, COVID has been a big game changer, and we saw how our cities could look like without being overpacked with streets and with cars and with transport in the streets. So a lot of companies now try to capture the moment and to work on that. And also a lot of cities or regions are seeing that problem as something more pressing, as something more important. Especially in Europe, we have European Green Deal. We had European Commission launching a special directory on urban transport just a few weeks ago. So really a lot of movement is happening in the area. Therefore, for anyone in mobility industry, those are very interesting and challenging times, I think. But also for us, not as I mentioned, not being new ones in the game, that's really interesting way to go.
Sure. So do you have any aspirations to think about moving beyond Europe and looking for clients in Asia Pacific, Middle East, Africa, America?
Obviously, yeah. We are talking with variety of cities across the continent already. Today most of our city clients are in Europe and especially DACH region, but that's just because Europe was a pioneer in smart city developments, in really prioritizing that issue. But now a lot of cities in different regions are looking at European examples and trying to apply that to their urban grid, and Trafi is there.
Yeah, you only need to go around most cities and you just see they're absolutely jammed with cars or scooters, even across Asia Pacific, cities like Jakarta. So yeah, I think the opportunities are global for you. Well, I'd love to keep chatting, but regrettably time's got the better of us. So Indrė, Sustainability Manager from Trafi, thanks a million for joining me on Lithuanian Brands Best Practice webinar series. Ačiū.